I won $350 million lottery. My son blocked me for $200 meds, my daughter laughed. But grandson sent his last $350. I made him a millionaire. They're broke. I won the lottery with $350 million. I put my family to the test after years of being treated like a burden. I called and said I needed money to get some medicine. I was prevented by my son. My daughter seemed unconcerned. However, my 2-year-old grandson used his remaining $500 to drive 400 meters. Everything changed with what I did next. At 3:50 p.m., my son David hung up on me. In my other hand, I was carrying a $350 million lottery ticket on a Tuesday afternoon. The line died. Dad, figure it out yourself. I'm busy. I sat staring at my phone in my living room, the same place where I had raised him, patched his skinned knees, and stayed up late to assist with college applications. The most important exam of David's life had just ended in failure. He was unaware of it at the time. John Williams is my name. My age is 66. I had entered a 7-Eleven on Brookshire Avenue at 11:30 p.m., 3 weeks prior, to purchase milk and left with a ticket for Mega Millions. It took me 4 days to check the numbers. I had to check 3 times since my hands were trembling so much. The 6 numbers were all the same, $150 million after taxes and a single sum payment of $350 million. I kept it a secret. Not my daughter Quinn, not David. Not a single individual. Rather, I gave Michael Thompson, a lawyer I had known for 35 years, a call. In addition to helping with my will and representing me in a property dispute, Michael had managed my wife's estate when she passed away 8 years ago. Michael, I need to meet you today. It's urgent. We met in his office at 2 p.m. He was 62 years old, had practiced law for 37 years, and had never once misled me. I presented the ticket to him. He turned pale. Pale, actually. Jesus Christ, John. I haven't claimed it yet. Why not? Because I want to do this right. I want to protect the money. Michael reclined in his leather chair and said, I want to set up trusts. I want to make sure my family can't touch it unless I decide they should. You don't trust them? I don't know yet. What do you mean? I mean, I'm going to find out. I'll back up. I had spent 42 years as a father. I was 25 when David was born. 3 years later, Quinn arrived. For 37 years, I was employed for Ford Motor Company. 60-hour work weeks, double shifts, assembly line, floor supervisor, and plant manager. I never had the opportunity, no matter what it took. David was 34 and Quinn was 31 when my wife Riley passed away. Breast cancer is swift and deadly. From diagnosis to funeral, 6 months. When she passed away, something changed. Quinn and David began to visit and call less frequently. They were busy, I told myself, Quinn with her real estate company, David with his consultancy firm. Before the demands began, they had their own lives. David was the first. Dad, I'm in a bind. The business has some cash flow issues. Can you loan me $15,000 until we close this deal? I presented it to him. I never requested its return. I paid off his credit cards 3 months later. Dad, I made some bad investments. I maxed out on credit cards. If Rachel finds out, she'll kill me. Can you help? Just $30,000. I'll pay you back. He didn't bring it up again. Quinn was even worse. She called, sobbing about her daughter's expensive school tuition, her car breaking down and requiring a new transmission, and her mortgage being 3 months overdue. I cashed out a small life insurance policy, sold bonds, and took money out of retirement funds each time I assisted. I never disclosed the expense to them. Fathers do that, so I never made them feel guilty about it. You don't keep score, you give, and you make sacrifices. They were keeping score, but not in the manner I had assumed. I called David on his birthday, 2 months before I won the lotto. I left a message on his voicemail but never heard back. 3 days later, I gave another call. Hey son, just checking in, haven't heard from you in a while. He responded to the message. He never said, busy with work. Will call when I can. It took me 45 minutes to drive to his home in Bloomfield Hills. Unexpected. Press the doorbell. Reagan, his wife, responded. She didn't grin as she said, oh, John. Hi. Did not extend an invitation to me. Is David home? He's working. Can I come in for a minute? We're actually about to head out. Maybe call first next time. The door was shut. I felt like a reprimanded door-to-door salesperson as I stood on his porch, the porch of a house for which I had contributed the down payment. Quinn was unique, yet identical. When she needed something, she would call me, but she would abruptly cancel her plans. Ignore my birthday and use nebulous justifications like being overburdened to skip holidays. I spent 12 hours cooking last Thanksgiving. Set the table for 3 with turkey, stuffing, and 3 types of pie. At 11 in the morning, David sent an SMS. Sorry, Dad. Reagan's family insisted we come to their place next year for sure. Quinn gave a call around 2 p.m. I ate dinner by myself, froze the leftovers, and tossed away the majority of them a month later. Dad, I'm so exhausted. Can we reschedule? At that point, I began to see a trend. I served as their final recourse, their safety net, and their ATM. However, I wasn't their dad, not in any significant way. My initial reaction upon winning the lotto was not one of celebration. Curiosity was the reason. Would they help me, or would I just be a bother if I truly had nothing, was broke, desperate, and in actual need? Michael assisted me in organizing everything. Made an irrevocable trust. Used the trust to claim their wins. Opened accounts they couldn't track down, and submitted all of their paperwork to the State Lottery Commission in the trust name rather than mine. As we completed everything, Michael questioned, "You're absolutely sure about this? We claimed the wins on a Friday. I need to know who they are, and if they fail your test, then I'll know that, too." On Monday, the check cleared. By Tuesday afternoon, I had $150 million in investment accounts under the management of Whitmore Financial Group, a company Michael suggested. Sandra Whitmore is a 26-year veteran fiduciary advisor. It's my heart medicine, David. To survive, I must have it. Have you given the pharmaceutical company a call? They have programs for aid. Or to the emergency room. You cannot be turned away by them. I'm telling you I can't, but I'm asking my son for $200. I have expenditures, and so does Rachel. The children attend a private school. The payment for the yacht. We are overburdened. The vessel. Last summer, I had saw him purchase a 35-foot boat. By paying off his credit cards, I was able to assist him qualify for the boat loan. You own a boat, but you are unable to assist your father with his prescription. Dad, that's unfair. Look, I've been chatting to Quinn. You're growing older. You're experiencing these problems. It might be time to think about assisted living. They take care of food, medicine, everything. You wouldn't need to be concerned. Live with assistance. They desired to keep me in storage. Actually, David, I'm going to temporarily block your phone number. We're being too gentle, according to Quinn. I believe she is correct when she adds, sometimes tough love is what people need to finally make changes. You're only blocking me for about a month. Allow time for you to sort things out. I must leave. The meeting has begun. The call ended. I sat numbly. Rather than handing me $200, my son blocked me. I glanced at the bank app on my phone, which said $150 million in assets. I then gave Quinn a call. On the second ring, she answered. Dad, this isn't a good time. What do I need help with, Quinn? I am unable to pay for my cardiac medication. Until my Social Security, I need $200. She chuckled. I actually chuckled. Are you serious right now? Yes, indeed. I'm requesting assistance. Dad, I saw your Facebook post yesterday. You were at Starbucks. You posted a picture of a latte. If you can afford Starbucks, you can afford your pills. It was a tiny cup of coffee. $1.50. It comes to $1.50. Do you know what's wrong with you? You don't keep tabs on your expenses. You wonder why you're broke after making these small purchases. I don't have that issue. I'm requesting assistance with medication from my daughter. I'm telling you I can't help you because I have to survive. I have a mortgage. I have to pay for my car. Melissa's tuition is with me. Do you believe that I am wealthy? I don't have many demands. With you, Dad, it's never just once. There's always something. You must organize your finances. Sell the house, perhaps. Reduce the size. I must leave. All afternoon, there are showings. Click. She ended the call. I watched the screen of my phone turn black as I sat there holding it. 2 calls, 2 denials. I only had one more call. Chase, my grandson, was 20 years old. David's child. He studied engineering at Wayne State University. Lived close to university in a tiny apartment. Made about $10 per hour working part-time at Chapter House, a bookshop on Woodward Avenue. We had always been tight. Chase would call me, come over for Sunday dinners. Actually, pay attention to what I have to say. This continued even after David began to distance himself. He told me his automobile was dying when I last saw him 3 weeks ago. The transmission is in progress. According to the mechanic, fixing it will cost more than the automobile is worth. How will you respond? I suppose you have to keep driving it till it dies. Nothing else is within their means. I was going to call him now to ask for money that he very certainly did not have. As I dialed, my hand trembled. He responded right away. "Grandpa, hey, what's up?" I felt my throat tighten at the sound of his genuine happiness to hear from me. "Chase, I need to ask you something. I'm in a difficult spot." "What's wrong? Are you okay?" "I can't afford my heart medication this month. I need about $200 until my social security check comes." "I know you're tight on money. So, if you can't, how much do you need exactly?" €200. "However, I am aware that you are making progress in your education, Chase. I have roughly $350 in my checking account. If you don't have it, right now, I can Venmo it." "Do you need more?" "I can pick up extra shifts, $350, probably everything he had until his next paycheck." "Chase, I can't take your money." "Grandpa, stop. You've never asked me for anything. Not once. Ever. When my car broke down last year, you gave me rides for 3 months. When I couldn't afford textbooks, you bought them. You don't ask for help." I heard him tapping on his phone and texting. "So, if you're asking now, it's serious. I'm sending the money right now." I sent $350. "Is that enough? Do you need me to drive down?" "I can leave right now." "Are you okay? Should I call someone?" My eyes hurt. "Chase, I'm okay. The money helps. I can't tell you what this means. You don't have to. You're my grandpa. I love you." We parted ways. That weekend, for the first time since Riley's funeral, I sat in my living room and started crying. I purchased a Honda of Detroit vehicle for Chase. Asked for the manager of sales. "I want to buy a car. Cash. I need it delivered to an address in Ann Arbor by Saturday morning." "What kind of car?" "Honda Civic. New 2023. Silver. Loaded with every safety feature you have. Whatever that costs." "That's about $20,000, sir." "Done. Here's the delivery address." Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I reached out to Chase. He pulled up in his fading Nissan and said, "Hey, can you come by the house this afternoon? I need help with something." "Sure, I'll leave in an hour." I was standing in the driveway around 11:30 a.m. Now, the Civic was behind me, tarped over. He approached and inquired, "What's under the tarp?" I pulled the sheet off and said, "Come see." Chase paused and gazed. "Grandpa, whose car is that?" "Yours." "What?" "Title's in your name. Insurance is paid for a year. It's yours." He simply stood between me and the vehicle. "I can't accept this." "Yes. You can. You gave me $350 when I needed it. When you had nothing. When your own father wouldn't even talk to me. This is what that meant to me." He began to cry. "Grandpa, this is too much. It's not enough. But it's a start." He wrapped his arms around me. Genuinely gave me a hug. Not the traditional Christmas embrace, but the meaningful kind. "I love you," he declared. David called me on Sunday afternoon and said, "I love you, too, kid." They showed up around 2 p.m. and said, "Dad, we need to talk. Quinn and I are coming over." Quinn's white Mercedes, David's black Audi. They were both dressed as though they were attending a country club. Without knocking, they entered. I saw Chase grinning broadly as he washed his new automobile in the driveway. Quinn said, "Whose car is that?" "Mine." Chase waved. In around 3 seconds, David's expression changed from bewildered to flushed. "Grandpa bought it for me." We were sitting at my kitchen table, where I had fed them for 30 years, assisted them with their homework, listened to adolescent drama, and attempted to teach them how to be good people. "Dad, kitchen." The tight, controlled voice David employed in business meetings said, "Where did you get money for a car?" Quinn leaned forward and said, "I had some savings. Last week you were begging us for medication money. This week you're buying cars. What's going on?" Was I begging? I maintained a cool tone. "I thought I was asking my children for help. Don't play games, David." Snap. "How much did that car cost? $18,000? $22,000? Where did that money come from?" I asked, glancing at Quinn's fancy purse on my table and the Rolex on his wrist. I made the decision not to purchase my cardiac medication. It felt more necessary to have cars for devoted grandsons. Quinn's face lost its color. "You what?" "You heard me. That's insane." Quinn let out a gasp. "You can't just stop taking your pills." "Oh, now you care about my health?" "Dad, this isn't funny," David responded. "If you're having some kind of episode, we need to talk about getting you help." "Episode? That's a nice word for it. I'm serious. This behavior doesn't make sense. You're either lying about being broke or you're having a breakdown." I got up, went to the living room, returned with a folder, and moved it across the table. Let's talk about money, I said. David pulled it open. Inside were bank statements, loan documents, and printouts I'd had Michael produce. March 2022, I replied. His face turned white when he said, David, you asked me for $15,000 for business cash flow problems. Remember? I took it out of my retirement savings. You said you'd pay me back. You never did. Dad, July 2022. You needed $30,000 to cover credit card debt. I sold bonds and left me. You said thank you once and never mentioned it again. I looked across at Quinn. Quinn, your mortgage is 3 months behind. I gave you $12,000. You cried, said I saved your life. That was 15 months ago. You've called me twice since then, both times to ask for more money. Whispering, that's not fair. She said. I presented the statements, saying, your car transmission, $4,000, Melissa's tuition, $8,000. Your property tax bill, $6,500. Every check, every transfer, every transaction. They didn't respond when I asked, do you know how much I've given you both in the last 3 years? $120,000, not loans, gifts, because you never paid any of it back. There was silence in the kitchen. And when I called you, when I asked for $200 for medication, I need to live, you blocked me, David. You laughed at me, Quinn. Chase materialized in the doorway. He had been paying attention. His face was pallid. Quietly, he added, you guys have been taking money from Grandpa, for years. That's different, Quinn remarked. We're his children, and I'm his grandson. He called me for help. I gave him every dollar I had. What did you give him? It was a lecture, I said. About budgeting, about tough love, about assisted living. Marcus began, David, if you'd known what? That I actually needed help? That I wasn't just being dramatic? You thought nothing. You didn't think about me at all. I took another document out of the folder and gave it to David. He questioned. What is this? A test, I said. Chase, ask them the question. Chase stared at me, then at his father and aunt. If Grandpa really couldn't afford his medication, he answered softly. If he was really in trouble right now, would you help him? Quiet. The hesitancy. That's all I needed to see, I said. That's what I thought. I went to the drawer in the kitchen, took out an envelope, and gave it to Chase. Open it. After taking out a lottery ticket and examining it, he took out his phone. I saw his hands begin to shake and his face turn pale. Grandpa, he muttered. This is the winning Mega Millions ticket from 3 weeks ago. $250 million. David threw himself at it. Holding it against his chest, Chase withdrew. Already claimed, I responded coolly as I sat in investment accounts and trusts with Michael Thompson in charge. Everything is protected and lawful. I looked at Quinn and David. If you'd helped me, if you'd shown even a small amount of kindness, I would have shared everything. Set up trusts for you, for your kids, made sure you never worried about money again. Quinn's expression twisted. Dad, please. But you didn't help me. You blocked me. You left. You told me to figure it out myself. We didn't know. Now when he was standing, David spoke in a desperate tone. How were we supposed to know? You weren't. That was the point. I needed to know who you were when I had nothing, when helping me would cost you something. This isn't fair. Quinn had started crying. You tricked us. No, I tested you, and you failed. David grasped my arm. Dad, please. We made a mistake, we can fix this. Just give us another chance. I withdrew my arm. I gave you chances for 3 years. Every time you asked for money, and I gave it without hesitation. Every time you skipped holidays or forgot birthdays, or treated me like an inconvenience. Those were all chances. Picking up my phone, I opened a Michael email and showed them. This morning, Michael Thompson purchased certain debts on my behalf. Your boat loan, David. Quinn's credit cards, her second mortgage, your car payment. I own them now. David muttered,